Hello, strikers. This is SF, and finally, all the 7 Deadly Sins collaboration monsters have been out, and It's in game. You can check it out in game if you really want, but of course they are in Japanese, so that's why I'm doing a monster rundown. Talk about their stats and what's good, what's not good about them. There is a disclaimer that I am filming this on the day before, like before the actual collaboration comes out. So especially with collaboration monsters with special effects and things like that. I could be saying some stuff wrong in terms of what they actually do, and of course we don't know like multipliers and things like that. You'll probably, once it's out, you can probably calculate it just by testing it out. So just take this as a grain of salt, and all my opinions are based off what we see right now as of before the collaboration, basically. So let's start with the Hatcher monsters. Of course the main one is Meliodas. Both evolution and ascensions are relatively good, but let's go with the evolution first. He is a class of demon god. It is a specific class for him. So things like demons probably won't be getting ableberry like things, and then of course demon slayers will not affect him in terms of boss slayers and things like that. Type balance. Bounce monster stats are like that. Ability is no warp and no block. He doesn't have a gauge. His strike shot is a revenge counter mode strike shot. I'll get a little bit more onto it later. Let's look at the bump, and that is a Twin Horizon Laser XL. The big thing about the evolution is his revenge counter mode. Basically when he takes damage, he will attack every single monster on the map, every single every single enemy on the map, depending on the amount of HP he has taken. There is some, like I said, like I said in the beginning about this disclaimer, we don't know the full lengths about it in terms of how long the counter mode actually goes, what is the multiplier of the actual damage, as well as whether it is team HP or self HP. Because you can, because you know it can proc. It'll only probably proc when he takes in damage, but we don't know if that multiplier is through team HP or the damage just by himself. So, so there's a lot of testing going on in the future. Let's look at the Ascension. Ascension, he's also a demon god. Bounce, and then bounce stats relatively low for bounce type in terms of speed. Ability Minesweeper M and no warp, gauge of Counter Slayer. So two nulls and a gauge of a Slayer, which is really strong. Strike shot is a speed up and attack up plus a demonic attack. Basically, it's like lightning ascension as strike shot. So basically, he'll have arms. He has his giant arms just slashing people when they're nearby him. So it probably does a lot of damage. If you get a good shot onto the weak point. In terms of like, it has a high potential, it has a high ceiling, but it also has a low floor as well. Bump combo is lock all shockwave 3, so same thing as Robin Hood. And then sub bump combo is weak point lock on shockwave 6, which is skill me 0. Of course, is a sub bump combo, so it does a little bit less than skill me 0. But in terms of who's better, who's not, if you only have one Meliodas, then you'll go for the Ascension. Just because you have better nulls and of course the Counter Slayer. And the bump combo, it doesn't require a lot of positioning, unlike the Evolution. Of course, Evolution, if you position well, then you'll be really strong. It's stronger than Margaret's or Tequila's bump combo, like the main bump combo, though. Like the sub bump combo of Margaret of vertical laser does have a say in it, but Horizon lasers does more than vertical lasers in general, and of course it's the same like Twin and XL when you compare it to Margaret's vertical. Okay, let's look at the evolution and ascensions in terms of impossibles and colossals. Let's go evolution. First one is Izanagi, just because the revenge counter mode can deal damage to all the Izanagi, and then the Falmane and Viscerons. So since they're all linked and things like that, it'll deal triple the damage, probably even more depending. So It'll be good for wiping out deal damage in Izanagi's final stage. Next one is Skill Me Zero. Pretty much the same thing. It can deal damage to all the eyeballs at the same time. I'm not sure it will clear them all in one shot in terms of the strike shot, but we will see. And then finally, Izanami Kai, same thing with the Revenge counter mode, deals all the damage for the mob clear, and of course no block and no warp deals with all the hazards of Izanami Kai. Ascension. First one, of course, with Minesweeper and no warp is Daigoku. Next one is Doom. It will deal a lot of damage in terms of mob clearing, clear off worms. The bomb combo will clear off worms and all the big birds and things like that. And also, as well, Izanagi Zero, proc the healing walls and of course mob clear in terms of all the other mobs in the map. So like I said, Ascension is probably the more safer, more useful form, just because of the positioning requirement for Ascension is a lot lower than Evolution. But anyways, let's look at the other 5-star Hatcher monsters at the same time, and that is Ban and King. Let's look at Ban first. Ban is a demi-hume. Type, balance, bounce. Stats are pretty normal. Ability, Minesweeper. Gauge is no damage wall, and Drain. Drain is, of course, if you attack an enemy. If you deal damage to an enemy in terms of normal bounces, then he will heal up HP. Same thing as Pandora. Strike Shot is sucks attack from contacted enemies. So it will attack down the enemies that he will attack, and then he'll gain attack up. Of course, I wouldn't say suck, but like, you know, sucking attack, it means that depending on how much enemies you hit, then you'll gain damage. Gain damage attack. I'm pretty sure it's not like that, but you know, the descriptions say suck, so you know, there's that. Of course, we don't know the multipliers and things, but in terms of the amount of turns, is 1 full round of ban, and then we're not sure. I'm pretty sure it won't matter in terms of bomb combo. It won't raise. I think it will raise attack of bomb combo, which is copy. Now, copy, for people that don't know what copy is kind of like a blast, but it will deal full damage of whatever monster it comes in. So for instance, if it's a 24k one-way laser, lock-on laser, then it'll deal 24 lock-on laser. It will also switch the elements, so if a wood monster hits Ban for their bomb combo, it'll turn into a fire. And then strike shot wise, with Ban strike shot, it will also increase the attack, the damage of that power, damage of that bomb combo, so that's always nice. But that's pretty much copy. Of course, Magma has it as well. Very relatively strong, good nulls and things like that. But of course, it's good for clearing off, like mitigating damage. It's more of a supportish role. It's not much of a carry role, so people might not be liking Ban that much, in my opinion. But he's still very usable. Works well with Walpurgis, and because they both share the same abilities in the evolution form. Okay, let's go to King. He is a sprite monster, blast type, sling, pierce. So your first pierce monster for now. Stats relatively high speed for a blast, like very high stats for a blast monster, except for HP. HP is on a little bit on the low end, but for a blast monster, that's still above average. Ability, flight, no damage wall, gauge, no block, and weak point, Slayer. Strike Shot is a flower ray attack for every enemy contact. So basically, it will shoot out the sunflower you see on his picture, and then it will shoot out rays of light whenever he hits an enemy at that wherever King is. So it's kind of like a laser strike shot, but you know, the laser is stationary, like the point starting off with the laser is stationary, and then it'll shoot out lasers and whatever. So relatively good, and he's also a pierce monster, so you can hit enemies whenever you feel like. Although the lasers itself won't be that strong, won't be like crazy. King also gets a speed up and power up with it. So the more you do vertical or horizontal swipes, then you'll deal more damage. Bump combo is a rewind blaster. He is a blast type, so that's a lot of damage. Rewind Blaster is a relatively powerful bump combo. But let's look at the dungeons. So first band is of course Kushinada Kai. Oh, I almost said Izanami Kai. Kushinada Kai deals with both hazards and just deals a lot of damage, and also the attack down strike shot will be good at mitigating damage as well. Okay, next one is Magmal. Magmal is a no heart dungeon, if I remember correctly. No, it's not a no heart dungeon. But it's still mitigating damage and stuff will be really good, and recovering HP up. Like, especially when you start missing shots in Magmal, you'll be taking more damage. So the drain as well as the SS attack down will be really strong. And then last one is Marishi. Although people will bring full Pierce into Marishi, Band does deal with the mines and damage walls. It's a good support monster for Marishi. Next one, let's look at King. And of course, Penglai, Hodai, whatever. He is the OP monster of this dungeon. Like, Mjolnir and Hanzo and Gretel are the top 2 OPs in this for her. But King just combines both of them together, and that's all you have to. That's all I have to say. It's gonna be really crazy because King has all the abilities that both Mjolnir and Hanzo and Gretel have: weak point slayer, flight, no damage wall, and the no block. So, and Penglai's dungeon doesn't really matter in terms of bump combos and things, although the rewind blaster, oh my god, I'm getting excited, is relatively okay for Penglai. Next one is Bishamoten. King is a no damage wall monster, so that's very good. And also, in my opinion, he's not up here because this is just my prediction. It is Yamato Takeru Kai, just because the previous 2 Kais, Izanami and Kushina, both have hazards that those 2 monsters have in their gauge shots. So for instance, Izanami Kai had warps and Kushina Kai had no damage wall, has damage walls on it. So I'm pretty sure, my prediction, Yamato Takeru Kai will have no damage wall, so King fits really well. And the release date of Yamato Kai is kind of suspicious, especially when it's right in the middle of the 7 Deadly Sins. So King might be a good pick for Yamato Takeru Kai. King is not really good for Takeru Zero, just because he has very high speed, although he does deal with the mines of that dungeon. Okay. These are the 4 5-star monsters. I'm just gonna show them here, just for completion's sake. But I always recommend people, although a lot of people don't really like rolling in collaboration hatches, especially when they don't really care about the actual source material. But I always recommend you guys to at least get 1 copy of the 4 5-star monsters. You'll probably get both of them within a 10 shot. So of course you won't need a 10 shot. You probably can roll twice and then you get both, and that'll be really good. Just because they are really good in terms of 4 5-star monsters, and especially when there are 5-star and lower dungeons now, they'll be really good. And stuff like, Diane is a power type but has a dash, so that doesn't really matter that much. Her strike shot is like a meteor, but it's only on the first contacted enemy. And then Gilthunder has 2 nulls and then bump combo chain lightning, and she is a blast type. I think it's a he, blast type. And in terms of power, the chain lightning for her is a little bit lower than like a normal balance type monster like Daigoku. So she's not like that OP, but the chain lightning is 120k, whereas Daigoku is 140k. But these are your hatcher monsters. Like I said, at least go for the 4 5-star monsters. Have at least one of each so that it'll make your lives a lot easier in 4-star or lower dungeons. Okay, let's look at the drop monsters, the farmables. Starting off with, well, actually no, my bad. The mission monster, Elizabeth Ann Hawk. I completely forgot about her. Mission monster. She's a demi-human, blast type, sling, bounce, relatively low stats, ability, recovery S, no win, gauge shot of no block. Strike shot is a healing area SS, so the same thing as Dinah. So basically she moves around the map, and then when she stops, she'll create a giant area where it will heal HP depending on how many ally monsters are in that area. It doesn't heal herself, so be wary of that. In terms of Dinah multipliers and percentages, it will heal 17% per ally monster in that area. So you can heal up to 51% of your HP, about half of your full HP. And then bomb combo is Wave. She is a blast type, so Wave is going to be really strong. Although the only bad part is the nulls are kind of gimmicky. Of course, right now wind and blocks are a little bit more used compared to like a year ago, but they're still not in tops in priority in terms of damage walls like all the other main ones. Stats are really low. Strike shot is good. Bomb combos is kind of a hit or miss depending on if you want to position for or hit the wave. So a little bit of a nerf compared to Hawkeye and the Full Metal Alchemist mission monster Hawkeye. That monster Hawkeye was pretty too OP in my opinion, and everybody even now are using her. I think the devs kind of want to make this this time around a little bit less powerful. But the main dungeon for her is Skill Me Zero. She can heal because it is a no heart dungeon for Skill Me Zero, and she also has block, and then she's also a bounce, so she can deal with the eyeballs there. Okay, now let's get to the farmables. Oh, and also Kane, my bad. And also Kane, just because her healing strike shot will heal up the monsters that are turning to ghosts, so that's always nice. And then she's also recovery S for it. Her, of course, you know, Kane is relatively easy in terms of monster selection, but you know, Elizabeth can be a good max luck if you don't have a good max luck for Kane. And then Wind can deal with the wind machines that will suck you in or blow you away for enemy attacks. And then Izanami Kai, just because she has no block, and then you can heal if you can't clear off the minions in time. But that's pretty much it. Okay, now let's look at the farmables. Helbram and Gilthunder. Let's look at Helbram. They're both extremes. Helbram is a descent monster, and then Gilthunder is your normal 24/7 single drop monster. Helbram, let's look at him. Class Sprite, bounce type, bounce, okay stats, flight, ability, and gauge of no block. Strike out, decrease ally attack and increase own attack for a set amount of turns. Both effects are a set amount of turns, so it's not like it'll decrease ally attack for one turn and then increase your own for a full round. I don't even know like how long it is. Like I said, we don't know anything until we get the monster and test it out. And then bomb combo is lock on poison, pierce wave. Not many monsters have this. Only the ascended form of Walpurgis has it. I think that poison damage for her is 35k or 25k somewhere. It's not like super crazy good, but you know, he does like the strike shot is kind of gimmicky as well. I wouldn't say he's like super priority for people that want to max luck, that just want to max luck good monsters, but you know, he will have his uses in my opinion. Next one, Gilthunder. Gilthunder, he's a paladin monster, speed type, so relatively okay speed for speed type. Ability, no wind and demon slayer, gauge of no warp, and strike shot turn reducer. Strike shot is attacks the first contact enemy with lightning slash and pierces enemies. So in terms of similar strike shots, it is Squall from the Final Fantasy collaboration. So basically, the first contacted enemy, you'll attack the first contacted enemy, you deals his damage, and then he'll pierce through, and then pierce through the opponent for more damage. I don't know. The thing about Squall's strike shot is that he doesn't move very far after the strike shot, but we don't know if Gilthunder will move very far for his strike shot. And then bomb combo is lightning destruction, basically one giant thunder, one giant lightning. Normal lightning is six shots, but this one is a giant one, and it's 140k per lightning, so it's good for mob clearing. I really like these 100 is around 200k, and never mind, it's about 200k. I just checked in game. So I think it's about the same as a meteor destruction in terms of damage for a main bomb combo. So good for mob clearing. And in terms of nulls, he's okay. Demon Slayer is not bad, but let's look at the dungeons. So for Helbram, the main one is Yamato Takeru 0. He does have relatively low speed to deal, so the speed bombs don't be doing that much, and that's pretty much his only dungeon for now. For Gilthunder, Izanagi 0. The lightning destruction will be good for clearing off the demons, as well as just proccing stuff, dealing mob clearing and stuff like that. And he's also a pierce, if I remember correctly. He is a pierce, right? No, he's a bounce. Never mind. Wait, he should be a pierce. No, he's a bounce. He's a bounce. So Izanagi 0, bounce monsters are relatively good. Normal Izanagi, of course, mob clearing. But that's pretty much it. Let's look at Hendrickson. Hendrickson is also a normal extreme descent monster, but he does have 2 evolutions. The only way you can unlock the second evolution, which is the Demon God version, is to clear his extreme dungeon with 3 collaboration monsters, 3 7 Deadly Sins collaboration monsters, and no continuate, so you cannot orb. But let's look at the stats. Evolution, Demon God, tight balance, bounce, ability Minesweeper, gauge, no warp, strike shot, attacks with lasers on every enemy contact. So it is the same as Plum. So it's kind of like a bullet strike shot, but with lasers instead of spread shots. Bomb combo is rebound, EX laser L. So 2, no abilities, so that is relatively good. So lots of versatility. Strike shot is not bad, it's just that it's not really strong. Bomb combo is kind of on the average side, but even so, he is a very good monster. Let's look at the Demon God version. He's still a Demon God. Balance, pierce, relatively low HP. 21k is okay. It's okay, but it's not really great. I would say average is like 23k in terms of HP. And then ability is no gravity barrier, gauge is no warp. Strike shot deals damage to enemies based on their HP in the target direction. So basically, you kind of aim it like a Pandora strike shot, where it will deal percentage HP onto the enemy. Now, we don't know the percentage, of course. We don't know if it's max HP or remaining HP. So there's a lot of testing out for that. But it is relatively good and easy to hit. If it's max HP, then that'll be a really good finisher. But I'm pretty sure it'll be remaining HP, because max HP will be a little bit OP. And bomb combo is a Star Laser L, which is the same as Kane. In terms of which form is better, of course, get both versions. But you can switch between versions without any costs. So depending on what dungeon you want to play, you can you can switch it off for free depending on what's up. But let's look at the dungeons. Evolution, the normal evolution, the Holy Knight version. Daigoku, he deals with both mines and warps. Doom also. He doesn't deal with the damage walls, but warp is more important than damage walls, and then the Minesweeper is a nice bonus. For Demon God, Eden, he is a pierce type and a no warp, so it's another Eden max luck. So for people, when I was playing Jades, for my 1000th stream. People are asking what's a good max luck for Eden, and of course the best one is Shinobu, and still the best even after Hendrickson. But you know, you can get a new max luck, and it's better than what other farmables out there. Except for Skill Me, because you know Skill Me is kind of impossible, is in the impossible state. But in terms of extremes, which is only Honda Tadakatsu, this guy is a lot better. And then Cannon, he deals with both gravity barriers and warps, and then he's also a Pierce, which is very, very important in Cannon. And then last but not least, Kushinada deals with both hazards, and the percentage HP will be pretty strong to take down Kushinada's giant HP pool. Of course, it won't be max HP, but you know, probably it'll just be remaining HP. But still, it's still really, really strong to deal with that giant HP pool. Those are the monsters. Let's look at the 4-5-star Savage monsters just there. In terms of where you should luck 90 them or not, I say it's your call. If you're not gonna luck 90 the Hatcher monsters, then I see why not just luck 90 these guys. The thing that I really want to emphasize is their low stats. So be careful of that. They do have good abilities. Jericho has 2 nulls, whereas Guila has 2 slayers. And then their bump counts are not bad, stretch shots are not bad either. Jericho's stretch shot is basically a bash stretch shot. So just is like a bash and then deals damage when she hits that enemy. And then Guila is just like a targeted explosion thing. just aim it and then you'll shoot explosion along the line. Like I said, you don't have to luck 90 them especially if you're just gonna luck 90 the Hatcher monsters by rolling a lot. And in terms of uses outside of it, at least get one copy. So, and then you can luck 90 something else. Especially when the 5-star Hatcher monsters have 5-star lower dungeons have Savage monsters in the same series that are really, really good for them. So you can farm those and then go for the 5-star monster. But yeah, just get one in my opinion. That's pretty much it for the 7 deadly sins. Of course, these are just first impressions of what's on paper. We don't know, we haven't seen a lot of them in action, especially the farmables. So I wouldn't know what's really good to max luck or not. Usually for me, I just max luck everything because you do have the time. You have 2 weeks to do it. But if you're on, if you don't have a lot of time or whatever, then take your pick. Of course, Hendrickson is the best out of the event monsters, so go for Hendrickson, and hopefully you can deal with the mission. Of course, I'll be doing videos for those, so I can help you in terms of which collaboration monsters. Hopefully, Gilthunder will be good for Hendrickson, but we're not totally sure. But that's pretty much it for me. I hope you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.